My old stalker is back and my husband is making me feel like I'm the crazy one.
Hello, welcome to the video. Okay, I'm gonna try to manage my fear and my fury with healthy coping mechanisms today, okay? So feel free to follow along and join in if you see me coping.
So I, 32 female, and husband, 33 male, have been arguing a lot recently over my old stalker. For some background, back in college, I was 24. I dated a guy, let's call him Fred, for around 2 months. Fred was interesting, to say the least. To save time, he had several red flags once we started dating, so I dumped him. Fred acted like he couldn't care less, so I thought that was that. A few months go by and I'm starting to see Fred everywhere. I see him at the grocery store I go to, my go-to nail place, my favorite restaurants, etc. I thought it was just a weird coincidence, so I left it at that. A year after our breakup, he starts messaging me, telling me that he was the happiest with me and he misses me so much. I called BS and blocked him. Then things escalated. Fred changed numbers every time I blocked him, made new social media accounts, and I started seeing his car everywhere. I tried getting a restraining order against Fred, but since he hadn't done anything to me, they couldn't do anything. A few months later, I was walking to my car at night. Fred coincidentally saw me walking alone and offered me a ride home. I said no, that I had my own car and kept walking. Fred proceeded to get out of his car and tried pushing me to his car. I punched him and ran to my car. I drove away and luckily he didn't follow. I tried again to get a restraining order, but it was basically his word against mine. They gave me a temporary restraining order, but that's it. I was terrified of even walking outside and deleted all my socials. Thankfully, a very close friend, let's call him Pete, stepped in to defend me. Pete ended up threatening Fred, and I finally stopped hearing from Fred. I felt free and slowly got back to my normal life. Now to present day, I'm now married to my husband. I've graduated from college and live alone with my husband. We moved to a nearby city and bought a house together. Sadly, a month ago, Pete died during his sleep, and I was absolutely devastated. I've known Pete since I was in high school, and he was my closest friend. To be honest, I'm still not over his death, and sometimes I can't believe he's gone. I'm not over it either. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But guess who heard about his death? That's right, folks. Fred found out and is now back.
Okay, cope attempt number 1. Starting simple, you know? Meditation. Nope, ground is giving me hot butt. God, you could brand cattle on that.
I received texts from Fred a few days after Pete died. I now see him everywhere and he's insisting we talk. I just walk away and ignore him. I've reported him, but nothing has happened, so I deleted my socials again. Friends have been telling me Fred has been asking around about me. He asked if I moved, what I'm doing lately, if I have any other social media accounts. I'm honestly terrified. Hey, do you know if Becca has a private Instagram? Yeah, that'll be 2 Jack and Cokes. Hey, do you know what other socials? It's so crazy to ask that to some people you barely know. I've moved since I finished college, but somehow I see him at my gym, grocery store, park, etc. It honestly makes me believe he never stopped watching me, and it's terrifying. I've told my husband about everything, and he says I'm overreacting or just plain ignores my concerns and changes the subject.
Even though I want to punt this man like a football, I will name my feelings, not the offense.
Does she need a knife in her throat for you to take it seriously, or how far does it need to go before you're like, oh, this should be the subject, we shouldn't be changing it? I've argued that he doesn't care, and he argues back asking what do I expect him to do. He says that Fred doesn't know where we live and that we'll just change gyms. My husband is telling me to just change my regular routine and stop going to certain places. He says it's no big deal and Fred is harmless. I'm like, Fred tried to force me into his car? How is that harmless? My husband has been distant ever since this started and I feel alone. I don't want to tell my friend in fear they will tell Fred. I can't go to my family because I'm in no contact with them. And of course, my husband couldn't care less. Is your husband Fred? Like in a mask or something? Like, I need advice. What do I do? Am I crazy? Should I just change my gym and my routine like how my husband says? Part of me just wants to move completely, but another part is basically asking myself, why do I have to uproot my life and change everything because of him? Can't he just leave me alone? It's been like 10 years already and I want to move on from this. Should I just talk to Fred hoping he'll finally leave me alone? Well, first off, hi. Gently press the subscribe button if you are enjoying what I'm doing so far. I've personally been stalked, not to this level, but it was it's terrible. You feel like you can't go anywhere. You can't think about anything other than your phone potentially blowing up at any given time. You fear even going to the gas station. It just feels like you're trapped in a snow globe and this person hunting you is just over it like that, watching your every move. And it's very isolating and terrifying. So I can't imagine how it must feel to be stalked and have zero support. My suggestion would be to just go down the list of friends and acquaintances and distant relatives. I think you should literally tell everybody the situation, because I think at some point, most people are understanding and rational and see this as a danger, and they'll help in some way, whether they give you a place to stay, like space to speak, or like a pitchfork and a partner to defend yourself with. I don't know, but that would be my suggestion. Okay, so we've got 2 updates to this story. Here's update number 1. My friends don't talk to Fred and they are aware of the situation. Fred has reached out to them randomly asking about me. They have reported and blocked him as well. Now for the update. Last night I decided to have a serious conversation with my husband one last time. I sat down with him and explained the whole situation again. Told him how scared I've been and that he needs to take this seriously. I wanted to show him how terrified I was, how small I've been made to feel, not just by Fred but also him, how his lack of support and concern for my own safety has made me question our marriage. I asked if he'd do anything if I was found in a ditch. He was silent the whole time while looking at the floor. We sat in silence for a few minutes before I got up to pack my things. My husband started to cry. He apologized and said he'd make this right. He said he didn't want to overact in fear of scaring me more, but in reality, it made me feel alone. My husband has been looking into Fred without my knowledge and has found out where he works, lives, and even Fred family contact information. Hey, okay. Welcome to the party. Hello. He wanted to gather more information about Fred before contacting a lawyer.
Really odd way to handle that, but nevertheless, I will celebrate with a dance break. That's all you get. That's all you get, guy.
We're both taking a few days off of work to get our ducks in a row. We're getting a lawyer and gathering evidence of Fred's harassment. We're also currently looking for a therapist where we can both talk about this whole situation and other issues we have in our marriage. I also had some voicemails Fred has left me, and I officially think he's lost it. Did he ever have it? I mean, he's been doing this forever. I have an Apple iPhone and you're able to see voicemails from blocked numbers. Some of the messages are of him saying straight up gibberish, while others are as if he's having a conversation with me. He says things like, "Oh yeah, babe, I get off work late, so tonight is a no-go," or "I'm off, so you can come pick it up right now." No, yeah, I don't know. I can't do this anymore. There's a lot of fashion in my life. Oh, there's too much fashion. Oh, Gucci, Prada. It sounds like he's having a conversation, but it's no one else, just him, and it's terrifying.
He hears voices. The lights are on and everybody's home.
My husband does feel bad and is trying his best to console me. He has apologized repeatedly for making me feel lonely and has been more supportive and open. Currently, he's looking through my car to check if there's anything that might be giving my location to Fred. I'll keep you all updated if we find anything or if anything else happens. Well, update 2. After my husband didn't find anything in the car, I still felt something wrong, so I took people's advice and took my car to the mechanic. Told my mechanic about my situation and if he could take a look at my car. And to my horror, a couple of days later, my mechanic found a small little cube that was placed hidden under my car.
There's so many better Freds than you. Frederick Douglass, Fred Rogers, Fred Figglehorn. Even.
At first, I really wanted to believe it was just part of my car or something, but my mechanic explained that it wasn't, and it was deliberately hidden. The cube is really small and magnetic. I called my lawyers right then and told them everything. I got pictures of the GPS and where it was placed. I thanked the mechanic and drove to my lawyer's office. At this point, I was shaking and wanted to cry. How long had the GPS been there? How long has Fred been following me without me knowing? Was he watching me at that moment? Is he going to add another one? I called my husband to meet me at the lawyer's office and told him everything. At the office, I just wanted to disappear. I wanted to run away and not look back. I was terrified and I felt so violated, knowing I was being watched for who knows how long. With everything we had gathered, my lawyer was able to get a temporary restraining order that same day. What about a permanent one? When do we get that one? What does it take? We are currently going through the process of getting a restraining order where I will have to go to court and see Fred again. My lawyer says the process can be long and draining, but it's something I do need to get for my own safety. I got a bit scared and had my husband's car also checked for anything. Thankfully, nothing was found in his car. I started feeling watched at home, so I had my whole house turned upside down looking for anything maybe Fred had placed. Thankfully, nothing was found. I've told neighbors about what we had found to keep an eye out for anyone suspicious. I've also started my training for handling a gun and shooting and still trying to get my CCW, but it can be a long process. Thank you again for everyone who has given me advice, and I'll keep you updated if Creepy Fred tries anything.
Okay, I'm feeling a lot of bother. Is anybody else? Just here. Yeah, I'm issuing a temporary relaxing order for all of us, okay? I smell a dead fish.
Maybe this is just me. I'm just very introverted. I would feel rage on like underneath all the fear and everything. I would feel a lot of rage because my home, my privacy, like it is everything. And when you screw with that, I just turn into a, like a spaghetti Hulk. I'm built like a granddaddy long leg. So it's not, I don't turn into actual Hulk, but like just, I can't imagine the level of emotions that this would cause and the wide variety of emotions. It would be a huge buffet of feelings, a feelings buffet, emotion corral, something like that. Anyway, moving on. Am I overreacting? My friend gave my abusive ex my new phone number. No, you're not. Oh my God. I'm genuinely not sure if I'm tweaking. I used to date a guy about a year ago, and this man was toxic to a T. Stalking, threats, emotional abuse, everything that was bad. He doesn't live in my country, but he came a few times when we were still okay, but I never invited him to my actual home. We always went to Airbnbs because even when things were okay, I didn't want him to have my home address. And when everything started going downhill, he genuinely stalked my address with all of the info he found out about me, flew from his home country to mine, and came to my house.
Okay, still feeling copious amounts of bother.
I feel like if you need to cross the ocean to follow somebody, that's prison. You're crossing the ocean, dude. That was dead ass one of the scariest times of my life, and I genuinely moved after that. I changed my number. I did everything so he wouldn't come again. But apparently, someone I considered a friend has, for one, been talking, and for two, gave that man my phone number, knowing damn well everything he did last time. There are some texts with this. Girl, WTF, did you give blank my new number? Yeah, he DM'd me last night. So? Why TF would you give him my number? You know I literally changed my number because of that man. I know, but it's been like a year, plus he said he wanted to apologize. Dude, WTF is wrong with you? Deadass, I'm actually mad. In what world would I want to talk to that man? I didn't mean anything bad by it. He said he wanted to say sorry. Holy shit, dude, I actually hate you for this. You're overreacting. It's not that bad. Bye.
Okay, sing something happy. Sing something happy. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
It's not that bad. It is that bad. What are you talking about? I changed my number because of that MF was stalking me, and you're still talking to him and giving him my new contact info? Bro, it's been a year. He's probably different now. What? F you, dude, genuinely.
Yeah, I have some thoughts. So you said that it's not that bad, implying that to a degree you do feel like stalking is creepy, harmful, etc., etc. So let's table that. Instead, let me ask you this. Do you understand how steadfast you have to be in your moral beliefs to even be an international stalker? You have to travel across the planet. Pokemasters do that. Tolkien characters do that. Pilgrims did that. They call it traveling abroad now, but they used to call it a quest because it sucks getting there. My girlfriend and I, we just moved from the US to Barcelona. Try paying a ridiculous amount of money to fly and sit in a seat with the size and comfortability of a high chair for 12 straight hours while some guy directly behind you goes for the whole time. Yeah, try doing that and not thinking about turning around and going back home. Just that alone nearly made us tell the captain to drop us off on the next cloud. This guy had to do all of that while traumatizing his girlfriend, breaking the law, and risk throwing his entire life away just so he could stand in her front yard and do this. That's not somebody who changes. That is a level of dark dedication that is only stopped by the most drastic of consequences, and he didn't even get in trouble at all. So what the hell would make him change? Now think about that while I go to the beach for a second. How does it smell so much stronger?
This video is sponsored by Simply Safe.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
So when I was about 12, our house got broken into. This is real. This is a real story. I was asleep on the couch, 3 a.m., summertime, and I was about 15 feet away from the front door. And I got woken up to scratching at the front door. So I sat up and looked to the right, and the doorknob was moving up and down, and there were two shadowy figures at the front door hunched over the doorknob. They picked the lock, opened the front door, and our home security system alarm went off, and thankfully they just ran away and because they got very scared. We later learned that they were arrested for armed robbery at another house in the neighborhood. So had we not had a home security system, I would have been held at gunpoint, or even worse, maybe I wouldn't even be here. So that's why I'm yapping over and over about Simply Safe, because it's important to have a home security system. And it's why I use Simply Safe now. You can customize a package that comes with indoor and outdoor cameras, motion sensors, base station, stuff like that. You can watch your cameras through the app at all times. The system has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can stay connected through anything. And it has what is called 24/7 live guard protection, where if an intruder breaks in, Simply Safe agents can respond within 5 seconds. They can relay critical 911 information for you, and they can even speak directly to the intruder and scare the bejesus out of them and get them the heck out of there. If we've learned anything together, it's that we need safety measures to give us peace of mind, and that is exactly what Simply Safe is. Save 50% on your Simply Safe home security system when you sign up for the professional monitoring plan and get your first month free. Visit simplysafe.com/poynter to customize yours. There's no safe like Simply Safe. So after reading those first two stories, I wanted to show you guys just why this is so terrifying for victims who go through stuff like this, because as you can see, a lot of people don't take this seriously, not nearly as seriously as they should. So I have two videos to show you. Both of them are from the perspective of a stalker. I want you to notice how they speak, how they make decisions, how they think. I think it's a great representation of how a lot of them act. And usually they're not Joel Goldberg. This is not Netflix. They don't wear a hat. They don't blend in a lot of the times. Many times they stick out. On this first one, this dude does something I don't think I've ever heard of a stalker doing before. He went to the cops to complain. He was actively stalking his coworker at her place of work. He had been doing it for some time. And on this particular day, he followed her to work and approached her in the parking lot and started playing a song for her, I guess to swoon her, like he's in Say Anything with the boombox over his head and the trench coat. And then things happened that led him to contacting the police.
I pulled up there and I was in the other parking lot and I saw her get in her car and I was like, oh shoot, it's my moment. So I pulled up there next to her and she pulled away from me, and so I chased her a little bit just because I don't know, women are crazy. I felt like she wanted me to chase her.
Do you not think chasing somebody's crazy?
Okay, let's stop asking him what he thinks, and nobody will get hurt.
Well, it's just I only went a couple blocks down the street.
I'm just saying, don't you think chasing somebody's crazy when they obviously don't want to?
Well, I had my song playing and I wanted to her to hear it maybe.
Well, apparently she don't want to hear it, right?
I feel terror dancing up and down my backbone.
Her father called me up and he made some threats to me and to my life.
Okay.
And so I just want to have his name on file.
What did he say to you?
I think he said he's gonna stab me, but he's cussing at me.
He said that, or he did say that?
He says I'm gonna do something to you. I swear I do something to you.
For chasing his daughter?
Yeah, but it wasn't chasing. It was going down a couple streets. That's fun to women. Women like that. A little bit of excitement.
No, they don't.
Underneath my rage, there is a deep set. Okay, I'm ordering donuts. We're trying sugar.
Now, I'm not going to play the rest of this exchange because it's long and he starts talking about some dark business. So if you want to watch the whole thing, it's in the description. Anyway, a lot of people, including myself, thought that this was some kind of prank on the cops because it's so backwards that it doesn't seem real. There's just no way. But then at the end, he got back into his car and he unfortunately started talking.
You know what happens when women don't ever, come to terms with themselves? The bad shit happens.
The bad shit happens. What are you gonna do? Kill the Batman? Why are you talking like this?
The cops want to deny me trying to get her to be straight.
This isn't a cop joke, by the way. It's just bad timing, and that's bad timing. Okay. All right, awesome, thank you. I'd like to point out how insane it is that as I'm making my dumb, stupid donut cop joke, a cop pulls up and kicks me out of where I'm filming. It's poetry. It's poetry.
Something is wrong about that. I don't see why these traditional ass motherfuckers think they can speak shit whenever it's this woke, belligerent LGBT shit that has her.
You've got so many screws loose. If you nodded your head right now, we would hear it.
The last video is an interview from a stalker that you probably have seen or heard of because her case is so odd and extreme. You've probably seen it in an Instagram collage story post. But this woman, Jacqueline, met a man named Isaac on a dating site, and they went on a date. He wasn't interested, but she absolutely was. In fact, she thought that they were in love and they were destined to be together. So over a 10-month span, she sent him 159,000 text messages in 10 months.
Whew, okay, let's try to be positive about it. They're in business. They started a business together.
If you want to know how insane that is and how many of that is, that's about 530 texts a day, 22 texts per hour, and one text every 3 minutes. This was all she was doing for about 10 months. And many of the texts were very threatening. For example, she said she would make sushi from his kidneys.
She's a big fan of sushi.
She told him to never leave or else she was going to kill him. And it got even scarier when the man was out of town and he checked his security camera on his phone app and he saw that she was in his shower, taking a shower and waiting on him to come back home. And when the cops came and arrested her, they found a meat hatchet in her car. So that sucks.
Okay. She's a butcher. It was steak night. Who wants some Wagyu? Who?
So she did an interview when this happened, and I think it's an interesting look into the mind of a stalker.
Was Isaac nice to you? How did
No, he's the meanest person I've ever met.
Then why do you like him if he's that?
We're soulmates. There's one boy and one girl. It's one boy thing, one girl thing. And it equals 3.3. Instead of having the number 0, we're only supposed to count to 3.3. 1, 2, 3.3. 3.3 is infinity. So if we counted from one boy thing to one girl thing, it would equal forever.
She loves math. That's why she loves Isaac, because Isaac Newton. Okay, I can't do this. What in the hell was that?
So do you believe that the number 33 led you to Isaac?
Yes,
How so?
I just told you.
Why did you go into his house and take a shower?
I follow him. Wherever he goes, I follow him.
I want a cigarette, dude. I've never smoked a day in my life, okay? But I would love a good cigarette.
I've attempted to be a little silly here and there, but this topic is important because a lot of folks and cops, especially in these smaller southern towns like where I grew up in Arkansas, they still see stalking more of as an annoyance rather than an actual dangerous situation, even though there's mountains of evidence proving the contrary, or their hands are tied by the law and they can't do enough. So they dish out these like temporary restraining orders, which I mean, let's be real. Unless you're using a temporary restraining order to investigate a situation thoroughly, it has no use. A 15 to 30 day pause is like telling a victim when they need to be scared again, and then it's like telling a stalker when they can stalk again. It's basically like putting a horse behind a starting gate at the Kentucky Derby and then holding a gun in the air and be like, and stalk. And Seabiscuit takes an early lead, watching his victim through the window as she cooks supper, and now he turns the corner onto the patio to see if the door's unlocked. You know, they have a terrifying addiction, just like a lot of the people that are in prison already. It's an obsession. So it's extreme. By definition, it's extreme. So it's a very big deal. That's my rant for the day. We're moving on. Click the little box in the top left-hand corner and we'll read a Reddit story where the commenters actually convinced somebody to leave their toxic partner. All right, that's my time. Toodles.